Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball-ish repair for you today. These aren't quite pinball machines, but they're made by the Mighty Williams, so they're kind of close. We've been working on these for several videos now, so if you haven't been watching, where have you been? These are Williams Pennant Fever pitch and bat baseball games. And we've got two of them in. We're fixing both of them at the same time, just for the giggles of it. So we've been working through them. These have the distinction of being the only Williams System 8 widely released games. There was a prototype, and I believe there was another game that was they made 12 of or something like that. But this is really the only one that you're ever going to see, Pennant Fever. But they made a bunch of these, so you might be able to find one of these. And like I said, they are baseball games, so they don't have flippers. They have baseball bats. And we've been working on the electronics, getting them up and going, and we're now to the point where we're going to work on getting the playfields working, and all the lights, and cleaning them up, and getting the bat working good, which is kind of the only thing that moves on it, really. So let's get right into it. Now we've got one on here on the right, and we've got one here on the left. I think we'll work on this left one first. What do you think about that? So or maybe I guess we can do the first thing I want to do, we can do on both of them. What I'd like to do first is swap all of those light bulbs in the back box. The original incandescent bulbs, we're going to go back with that, but we'll go into the test mode and see if they're all working. And if they are, by putting new bulbs all on the back, we'll pretty much be done with the light panels in the back. So we'll do that first and see what we get. We can get in the test here. We'll mess with that later, people. Alright, so we can put it in test, and that'll help us figure out which ones are burnt out. But I'm going to replace all of them, though. Okay, so I swapped all the bulbs. They originally had number 44 bulbs in it. I always put number 47 bulbs in it, which they use 40% less power. They burn a little bit dimmer, but they're not they don't create as much heat and all that stuff. This side over here has 3 bulbs that don't work, so those are new bulbs in it. And everything looks cool. The socket looks nice. So what I did was I wrote those 3 down on my list here. Now, all you English people, all you English men and women from the UK, I don't want to hear nothing about this, okay? These are our friends down the street. That's their last name, people. Alright? So, I wrote down the 3 lights that are burnt out, or that don't work. Can't you tell my handwriting? So the RT means right, because it's the right machine. And then I said lights out. And then I wrote down the 3, number 7 on top, the tilt and the extra inning. And then I wrote down the colors of the wiring. And that was a boo-boo. Okay, so the reason I wrote those down is because we're going to do the ones on the bottom of the playfield now. And it may be that there's a wire messed up or something, making 6 or 7 of them go out. Usually you have, with the machine, you have a switch matrix, they call it, where it shows, or a light matrix, where it shows which bulbs, how they're wired, and they're literally in a matrix. They use strobes and returns to make them light up. But for this one, I've got the schematics and stuff, but I don't have any matrix chart or anything. I don't even know if they ever released one. But we can figure it out by the wire colors, and I mean, you can see where they plug into the board in the back, and we can figure it out if we have to. Okay, so I'm going to pop up the playfields on both of them, and then we're going to replace all the lights on the bottom of the playfields as well. So on the left one, every light bulb is twinkling away. Every one of them. Had no problems. Oh, yeah, I did have a problem, now that I think about it. There were 2 of them that weren't working, but then whenever I got up here, the solder was bad on that connection, so fixed that, and it fixed the other ones. So that wasn't no big deal. And then this one has a peculiar little thing. So up here at the top, this one's not working, and it is a red and purple wire. And then you come down, and this one is not working, and it is a red and purple wire. And you come on around, and this one is not working, and it is a red and purple wire. And you come around, and that one's not working, and it's a red and purple wire. And then you get over here to this one, and it's not working, and it's a red and purple wire. And then there's one way up here at the top that's not working too. But it has a diode broken on it. So I got to replace the diode. So if you look on each one of these, they have a diode. So I'm going to solder a diode on, and then I'm going to figure out what's going on with our red and purple wire. So the 3 at the top that didn't work, number 7 had a red and purple wire. And then the tilt had a red and orange wire, so might be something going on there. And then the extra ending one had a red and purple wire. So we definitely have a red and purple problem, people. Let me solder that one diode back on to make sure it fixes that one, and then we'll see what we can figure it out. Put a new diode on it, and it is twinkling. So now the only ones that don't work on the bottom are the purple. What did I say? Red and purple ones. The red and purple. So I'm going to lay this back down, and then we'll go back up in the back box and see if we've got a problem there. Probably on the connection on the actual game board. Okay, folks. So this is the lamp section. These are the red wires, and red and purple wires is one of those. And so these are lamps. So these work with a strobe. So the lamp voltage, I may have this wrong, but it's something like this. They're like 18 volts, but they're 6-volt lamps. And the reason that it's like that is because since it's a strobe, they're not getting the full 18 volts at any one time, and it's set up where it's it cuts it in thirds or something like that. So it ends up, instead of sending 18 volts out to the bulbs, it's only 6, even though it's running off an 18-volt power supply. But it's just the way the strobe works. So we talked on the previous video about insulation displacement connectors, which are these cheapo connectors that they used on some of this crap. And these things, they were really cool to use in a factory because you could just pull wire through it and then push a little clip down through it, and it would stab the wire down through the insulation displacement connector, which would move the insulation out. It would cut through the insulation and make the metal wire inside touch the metal pin, and blah, 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 blah. And so they've done everything in this game like that. And so in the previous video, we had to replace this connector up here because it was bad. The connector down here always burns up. You always have to replace that. But those connectors are crap. So because of that, I had the lights that were missing on the playfield. So just very careful. You don't want to electrokill yourself. If you wiggle it a little bit and mess with the wires a little bit, you get different bulbs to go in and out. You see what I'm saying? And if you mess with it enough, you see, if you look, you see how some of them they're all lighting up. It's just at different times. Bam, there you go. So, that connector needs replaced. Now, you could argue that all of the connectors need replaced, but we're still going to try just the one. I'm not really ready to replace every freaking one of them yet. So, but I'm definitely going to replace that one so we can get all the light bulbs working. So this red one, I'm going to put a new connector on, and hopefully that'll get all of our lights working, and then we can move on to the next thing on both machines. Look at that ugly little thing there. Yeah. Yeah. So put a new one in. Now we got all our lights back. Isn't that awesome? And the one up here that was not red and purple, the diode was broke. So I have it cleverly placed right now, but I'll put a little bit of solder on that wire, get it back together where it won't break. And that's all of our light bulbs. So we got all of our lights working in both machines. On to the next thing. Alright folks, so in the back of the playfield you have this assembly here. There are a couple little chrome pieces that come off, and then this cover will slide right out. And it's just a piece of tin actually that's painted up, very pretty. And then once you do that, you can slide the entire assembly out that is like this. Let me darken it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. Alright, so this whole thing slides out. You can see the way that it mounts up in there. And you can see that behind it, all there is just like a ramp. They've got a piece of metal on the back so that whenever the ball hits the metal, it's not beating through the wood. And then once it rolls down here, it lands in that track that you saw that goes up all the way underneath the playfield. So this little box sits on the back, and it's suspended in those tracks so that these little targets hang down. And you can see that when the target is hit, there's just simply a little leaf switch up above it on all of them so that the game can keep track of what's going on. There's also light bulbs here in the front just to light it up. And then if you knock the ball all the way up into the top, it says home run, home run, home run, home run, home run, home run. So that metal thing is here. The ball would land on top of it and slide down, and then it would hit one of these switches instead of one of these and give you a home run. What do you think about that? So the three switches are wired different, so it must need to know if you're on the left, the middle, or the right. And everything you're looking at here is broken glass. Whenever you break a glass on a playfield, it ends up hid all over the place. It takes you forever to clean it out. When we got this thing, there wasn't any glass in it, but it had a piece of plexiglass as the playfield glass. So we figured at some point somebody must have broke the glass. They're a little bit of a weird size. They're a little different than a regular pinball machine, so you have to get one cut. But apparently this top piece hasn't been out since then. So we'll clean that all up. Now I'm wondering if there is a light or anything above it. No, there is not. Okay, so there's no other lighting up under it. So the only lighting is those little lights on the front, and then this is a big fluorescent light that shines over the whole playfield. I'm thinking there's probably some under here too. We'll take them off here in a minute and see what it looks like. But I'm gonna clean all this glass up. We'll clean all the switches, and then we'll clean that up, clean that up back down here, and then slide that back together and put new bulbs in it. Okay, so I got the lights working up there. Looks pretty good. And then down here I took off the plastic pieces. They're all warped. I'm gonna see if I can straighten them a little bit with a heat gun. Get them a little bit flatter. And then we'll throw them back on. But there's no lights under them. Alright, so that's as straight as I could get it. Whenever you do it, they always have like a ripple on it though. See the ripple? A little bit of a ripple. But it's a lot better than that. Look at that crap. Ugh, so I gotta do that one. We're getting there. Okay, so I put the covers back on and I inked in some of the scratches that were on this thing that were letting light through. If you look, you can see where the scratches are. Blacked it out a little better so it looks better. And so now we're down to, the only thing really left is I'm going to mess with this playfield a little bit, but here's the problem. Someone has put varnish over the finish, which is fine, but they did it over all of the dirt. So I'm going to try to clean this up, but most of this is not going to clean off. That's painted on now. I don't know why they did that, but they did that. I cleaned up the little things. And then we've got some pretty bad wear here that I'm going to try to touch up. So, I don't know. But, you know, the little guys are kind of dirty. They didn't get cleaned up before the paint. So I'm going to take a magic eraser and try to clean it a little bit and see what I can do. And then down here, I'm going to try to touch up that green, and if it touches up and lets me paint over it, clear over it, then I'm going to try to touch up at least some of this maybe, to maybe draw the base back in or something, but I'm not going to go crazy with it. So, we'll see what we can do. Okay, folks, I touched it up just a little bit. Remember the big spot up there at the top? It's not, I haven't put any clear on it yet. But I've just mixed up some acrylic paint. You've seen me do that a bunch before. And it's a little bit too blue, so it's a little bit off. But we got to talk about the philosophy behind making them perfect. Right? This one cannot be made perfect. So if I perfectly match that green, I might have been able to do it if I messed around with it for another hour. I messed around with it for about half an hour and got it pretty close. But if I messed around for another hour, I may have been able to get a perfect match. But if that perfectly matched, would it fix, you know, all of this wear that's painted underneath the whatever, you know what I mean? So we're working on one here that's not perfect anyway. So any little bit you help helps. And then down here at the home plate, I drew it back in, but I didn't paint the white back in on the plate, because if that's painted back in, I mean, that big worn spot on the raw wood right there next to it is going to make it look even worse, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to make it where you can't obviously tell that somebody touched it up and it just looks worn. So I could spend another hour on that home plate and get it to look a little better, but there's nothing really I can do with this because it's under the varnish, and this, it's under the varnish. So we have to take Kenny Rogers' advice on this one. Hey Matt,
what's that?
What was Kenny Rogers' advice again?
See, it was know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Exactly. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So this is the right one. So I pulled all that out and cleaned it like we did the other side, put the new lights in it, everything looks cool. Cleaned up the playfield. The playfield is much nicer on this one. The cabinet looks nicer on that one, but that's because it's been repainted. So this one's not quite as nice. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why don't you swap this part over there and put this playfield in that one? I don't do crap like that. I'm not a damn part swapper. Come on. So, but we've about got everything cosmetic. Well, not everything cosmetic, but obviously we haven't messed with the bat yet, and obviously we haven't messed with the magnet yet. So that's what we're saving. That will be the last things that we do. But we got everything electrically doing its thing, and this light wasn't working. So I just figured I'd document how they did this. There's just a bulb and a little ballast and a little starter, just like normal. And it's on this little plate. That's just attached in. And then this is just like a plexi shield. It just slides down in there and mounts over the bulb. And you get a nice logo and some nice light on your playfield there so you can see it. So as you can see, they're both starting to really kind of come back to what they're supposed to be. You can see that there's very little wear on this one. It's in a lot better shape. So we're getting there. So I'll put that back, and then we got to figure out what's next. So we cleaned up the control panels and put them back on. This one was pretty nasty, but it cleaned up pretty good. So they both look, the control panels both look about the same. The front of this one still needs a little bit of cleaning, but it'll look all right. And the front of this one's already pretty clean. They had added some buttons here, I guess, to add credits or something. I don't know what that's for. So we still got some minor stuff like that to do. And then on this one, we've got to clean the cabinet, and we might touch up some of the black, just because that would be easy to touch up. This side, same thing. It'll clean up a little bit, but the black, if we touch it up, it'll make it look a little better. And then the last thing that we have to do is whatever we worked on both, well, not the last thing. One of the last things. Whatever we worked on these boards, this is the first one that we worked on. We took the batteries out because the batteries, will leak all over the board. So we saw on the other board that it had completely destroyed the sound section. And another thing, whenever they leaked, all those chips that I had to replace, the 4069s that were causing the problems with the displays on the other board, were right here, the closest ones to the battery going up. So it's just, a lot of that was corrosion stuff. But the reason they used the batteries was to save settings and bookkeeping info and stuff like that. And on a System 9, which was the next one, again, this is the last System 8, on a System 9, the chip that did that was this 6116 RAM right there at U19. So U19, do I have that right? Or U18? Make sure I'm not telling you the wrong one. Does that say 18? U18, I'm sorry, U18. So U18 right there is a 6116, and the battery basically was holding the information in that. And so you can replace that with a NVRAM, non-volatile RAM. We got ours from nvram.weebly.com. These are specifically for pinball machines. So you take this and you take that chip out. Now, unfortunately, on this one, that 6116 is soldered in the board. But you take it out, you pop a socket in, and then you pop this in place, and then you don't need batteries anymore. So we haven't done that one yet. But remember, I kept messing with this one because we had all that corrosion. And so I already installed it in there, and now whenever we turn it on, every time it comes up in gameplay instead of in audit mode, because it's actually keeping all of its settings and stuff. So I need to put that one in this left board, but the right one already has it. All of our lamps are working. All of our switches are working. I tested them. Everything's fairly clean, at least. Oh yeah, the clear coat has dried over here. You see it's a little bit too blue, but I mean, come on. So our clear dried over here, and I usually honestly just use spray paint clear coat. I didn't clear the whole thing because I don't even know what this clear is that's on here. It's some kind of varnish or something, but I was able to just spray a little bit over the area that I had touched up, so there has been clear added in this area here. Literally just and it's dried now, so that's cool. We'll let it dry another day or so, and then I'll wax the playfield just so maybe the ball will roll a little quicker. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. So what we have left to do on the next video is we have to work on the bat, make sure they work good, and then they have a magnet in the middle that makes it where you can throw a curveball. And the one on this one, the fuse is blown, and the one on that one is missing. So we got to try to figure out if we can fix that or what the deal is. So interesting. And the last thing I'm going to do on this video is we're going to take those toppers off because they're not even supposed to be on there. So let me grab a screwdriver. Okay, so I took the topper things off of them because I don't need that. Come on now. And we still need to mess with the legs. They need painted and all that jazz. I'll have Joey do that. So from the Pinball Resource, I bought all new balls. Now I don't know how many are supposed to be in there, but I'm gonna put 5 in each machine. Now if you look, this one they have the bat adjusted way down there, back behind where it's in the batter's box. And on this one, it's way out here where it's hitting the catcher and the head, so I don't know which one's right. We're going to have to mess with that on the next video. I didn't put that in this video because it's going to take forever. I can see that coming. Well, let's try them out and see if they'll do anything. This one says start right on it. Is that O2 credits? All right. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to play with one hand. Okay, I'm just going to try to throw a fastball. That wasn't fast. Well, messed that up. All right, Matt's going to try to do it. Oh man, you got me. Something's getting caught. That must be falling in the bottom of the plate of the cabinet or something. Let's jump over to this one. I have a second one over here, a backup. Gotta put some credits on it. I don't know if these buttons are. Oh. What the hell? I'm trying to credit it up. I don't think I can do it in that. There's a way to set it like that. There's hackage going on here, people. What the hell? What have they done? I will have to mess with that. This one's got some work that it still needs. All right, I'm going to lift up the playfield and see where the hell the balls went. All right, they were jammed up. We think we got it now, though.
You said curve didn't work, did it?
I think it'll work, but it won't curve.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's nice.
It's not.
They're really any different, are they?
They're not very fast.
Well, say change up. Well, they're jammed again.
All right, so the thingers are limping along, people, but we're getting there. That'll give us something to mess with next time. What do you think, Matt?
Think it looks great.
What the hell was that? He wants to talk trash about it, but he doesn't want to do it on the thing.
That means
8 is the points. We've had 8 runs. 2 must be the outs, or maybe that's.
There was one out at least. I saw. Yeah.
Here's how I'll find out.
Inning maybe. Hit out again.
Yep.
Are those
3rd inning.
okay?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're getting there. All right, we're going to keep working on it. So leave your comments below. Give us a thumbs up for taking them this far and filming it for you. What do you think, Matt? Isn't that great that we filmed it this far?
Well, I mean, it's not fixed yet.
Yeah, but this is a series, Matt. They don't expect it to be fixed on the 7th video.
Hoping for 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna keep on trucking. I'm doing 2 at a time.
Well, there you go.
If I normally fix them in 5 or 6 videos, I have 12 videos to fix both of these.
Well, there you go.
And hell, they're up and running. It's just they don't play.
The most important thing they can do.
Well, they're getting there. All right, folks. So leave your comments down below, and we'd like to thank everybody, including Matt, from buying stuff on our Amazon links. So if you click the link below, it takes you to Amazon in your respective country or corner of the world. And it's really a small world, people. It's not as big as you might think it is. It'll take you to your respective Amazon, and then you can purchase whatever you were going to purchase anyways. We like to tell people that because we don't want them to have to spend extra money just on our behalf. You know?
Yeah.
Just if you're going to buy something, just use our link. And it gives us a royalty for doing that. Oh, look, there's lights up there. Left field home run scores double when lit. That's why they do it. Ah, okay. Whenever I was messing with the switches on the back, I was wondering why they have it where it can even tell that you're in the left, the middle, or the right. It's because they light up a
different
one where you get a double run.
There you go.
Well, there you go. So we'd like to thank everybody that's been doing our Amazon thing. Thank you so much. And also, thank you to everybody that's been subscribing to Donnie's channel. My brother, Donnie. We're over there messing around. Now, Matt, you've been to Jefferson, South Carolina before, haven't you?
Multiple times.
You went down there and dug through that one building with us that one day.
Yep.
So Donnie is filming videos of fixing up some of those buildings. Some of them we've uploaded, some we haven't.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
I remember you fixed the clock.
Yeah, we fixed the clock out in front of the one. That's right. So there's lots of cool stuff over there like that. Donnie basically doing everything this side of breaking the law, pretty much.
There you go, yeah.
If it's legal, he's doing it on his channel. So go check it out. And make sure to give us a thumbs up for filming it for you. And I hope you enjoyed it so far. Hopefully next time we'll get these things actually working. And we'll see you on the next video.